to the tutorial series of the operating system. This series will be helpful for the students of the computer and the IT stream. Today we are going to discuss about the deadlock. In previous video, I have discussed about the virtual memory as well as I have covered the types of operating system, scheduler, swappy and translation look-aside buffer. If you have not yet watched my previous videos, then first have a look at it to get the proper understanding. You can get this link of these videos in the description box. Today we will cover example of deadlock, what is deadlock, condition of the deadlock. So before we start to understand concept of deadlock in detail, let's learn the example of the deadlock first. A real world example would be a traffic, which is the going to only one direction. Here, a bridge is considered a resource. So when deadlock happens, it can be easily resolved if one car is backed up. Several cars may have to be backed up if deadlock situation is occurred. So starvation is possible, shown in the diagram. Now we will see what is deadlock. A set of the processes is deadlock. If each process in the set is waiting for an event that only one other process is that set can cause. We understood in that example. Here, each process is waiting for the some event. This event can be caused by the some other process from the set, but none of them will cause any event because all are waiting in a waiting state. No any process can come out of the waiting state. All the processes will continue to waiting for it. Deadlock is a situation that occurs in operating system when any process enters a waiting state because another waiting process is the holding the demanded resources. Deadlock is a common problem in a multiprocessing where several processes share a specific type of manually exclusive resources known as soft plug or a soft plug. A deadlock happens in operating system when two or more processes need some resources to complete their execution that is held by the other process. Shown in the diagram, the process 1 has the resources 1 and need acquire the resource 2. Similarly, process 2 has the resource 2 and need to acquire the resource 1. Process 1 and the process 2 are in a deadlock as each of the need of other resources to complete their execution, willing to leave their resources. Today, most operating systems are multi-programming operating systems. So, more than one processes may be running simultaneously. In such a printer, scanner, tab drivers, files, slot in a system internal tablet. Whenever a process needs any resources, it requires for it. Operating system grant resource if it is the free. In such case, the process will progress by using it. If resource is not free, process will wait for it to be a free. Now, consider the following situations. Suppose there are 3 processes in a system. Also, there are 3 tab drivers in a system. Each process needs 2 tab drivers to complete their execution. Suppose each of them has acquired 1 tab driver and now request for the second, but none of the tab driver is free. So all the processes will waiting, but for how long do they need wait? Almost for. Now we will see the second situation or a second scenario. Suppose there are 2 processes, the process A and the process B in the system. Also there is the one printer and the one scanner in a system. Each process has to scan an image and then take a print out of it. So process A requests for the permission to use the scanner and it granted it. Process B requests the printer first and is also granted it. Now suppose the process is request for the printer, but this request will be denied until the process B release it. Unfortunately, instead of the releasing printer, we asked for the scanner. So both will wait for how long? Almost forever. Now we will see the Situation 3. Consider a database application which contains the two tables, the table 1 and the table 2. Also, there are the two processes, the process A and the process B. Suppose process A lock table 1 and the process B lock table 2, and then each process try to lock other table. What are the consequences? The simply waiting for a lock on another table to be released, almost foreign. Here all processes have some resources and they need another resources to complete their execution. But such other resources are already acquired by some different processes. So none of them can have the further processes. Such situation is called deadlock. A deadlock occurs if the four conditions hold true. But these conditions are not mutual exclusive. The conditions are given as first condition is the mutual exclusive. There should be a resource that can only be held by the one process at a time. In the diagram, there is the single instant of resource 1 and it is the held by the process 1 only. Now, second condition is the hold and wait. A process can hold the multiple resources and still request the more resources from another process, which are the holding them. In the diagram, the process 2 hold the resources 2 and the resources 3, and it is the requesting the resource 1, which is the held by the process 1. Now, let's see the third condition of the deadlock. So, the third condition is the non-preemption. A resource cannot be preempted from the process by the force. A process can only release a resource voluntarily. In the diagram, the process 2 cannot the preemptive resources 1 and the process 1 from the process 1. It will only be released when the process 1 it voluntarily after the execution is complete. Now, last condition is the circular wait. A process is the waiting for the resources held by the second process, which is the waiting for the resource the held by the third process, and so on. Till the last process is the waiting for a resource held by the first process. This forms is the circular chain. For example, process 1 is the allocated the resource 2 and it is the request the resource 1. Similarly, the process 2 is the allocated resource 1 and it is the requesting the resource 2 shown in the diagram. This form a circular wait loop. So, it's all about the deadlock. So, now we will see the important question of the deadlock. So, first question is the what is deadlock? When deadlock is occurred, what are the various way to deal with the deadlock? Give the example of the deadlock. Explain the conditions necessary for the deadlock to occur. What is the circular wait? What is the mutual exclusion? You can answer this question in below comment section. If you have any kind of doubts or a query, you mention in below comment section. Hope you like this video. If you like this video, don't forget to like, share and subscribe our channel. Click on the bell icon for the more notification. Stay tuned for the more such videos in this tutorial series. Thank you for watching this video.